Hello everyone. My previous session, I was explaining about Maven and we got stuck in some issue. So I'm continuing from there, right? The issue which we got. Let's see what was the issue, how to proceed further, how to take care of the things. Before that, let me share my screen. My screen is visible, right? So this is where we left. We left sample Maven, and we are seeing that time also. This is saying class not found exception. It was Maven archetype, right? If you see, I will explain this all one by one, and then I will show you one which I have written manually, and I will explain that for a rest for a jar file. See here, if you see, this is what the project. When you start writing a pom.xml or maven.xml, this is what we have generated through Eclipse. But when you start writing about the when you start writing, a pom file, all the form files are XML, right? XML files. All the XML files start with XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8 in most of the cases, right? And again, you will start with a tag called project. In POM, you will start with a tag with called project, and it will have XMLNS. That is XML namespace. XML namespace is this one here, right? This is the namespace, and XML namespace XSI. So this is your XSI. That is schema instance. This is referring to the schema definition. Here, if you see XML schema location, it is the schema location XSD, right? What this XSD actually, what this all. So I will show you. I don't know if this XSD is going to upon through internet, but if it upon through internet, I will show you what is that. Maven 40.xsd. Will see this. What is this XSD? XSD first of all, you should know what is XML, what is XSD. I will explain this in coming session. See, this is the same link. It is going to take us to that XSD, right? So this is what XSD, if you're seeing it here, I'm just maximizing it to explain you. See, every XML, when you define, that XML will have a XSD, that is XML definition, right? And based on that definition, we will have the tag and will have all other kind of attribute in XML file. See, this parent tag, it is coming from here. If you don't have a parent, you can define parent in the XML file, and it will never be it will not be recognized by Maven APIs or Maven build model. This is a complex type model. What all annotation it will have? It will have a version, it will have description. See, first starts with element project type model. So what does project contains? Your project contains versions and description, right? This this contains the sources per description, the sources project, it contains this, right? So if you come here, see packaging. What is your packaging? Packaging is min occur once. That means it will, sorry, min occur is zero. You see about packaging min occur zero, right? Type access string default is ZAR. If you have not defined anything in packaging, the default will be taken as ZAR. And source documentation version is 4.0.0 plus. Description is this. The type of activity is project produce. I am reading this one. Let me mark it. Might be reading, getting confused. See, I'm just taking this packaging tag. Here, let's go to the Eclipse. Say here we have this packaging tag, correct? It is min occur is zero. If I don't put it, it will not have any error. By default, it will consider it as a zero. If you see line number 10, I will remove the packaging, right? By default, it will consider as a zero. Now, what I will do, I'll just do control Z. Yeah. So see now it came back. It came back packaging Maven act type packaging, right? So this came back. Now if I go back to the browser where we're seeing this, see min occur is zero. That means minimum occur. Even if it is not available, that is fine. That is optional. If min occur is one, then it is not optional. It is mandatory. So I will show you one min occurs one. Wait. I'll show you one min occurs one. If there is anything mentioned, one second. Hold on. I think this group ID will be Minocore one, right? The model version. Yeah. So see, it is giving error, right? This is given error. Now, if you take a mouse pointer here, what it will say? Group ID is missing. See, group ID is missing. It is clearly telling because group ID is mandatory. If you go to Control F and you search your group ID, right? See, we came to group ID here. Yes, here main operator is zero string default Apache plugin. It is inside plugin here. This is not this one. See, every tag will have their own this thing. See, this XML, this tag, right? Project. So wherein we have this inside the project, right? This, if you go to Eclipse, this artifact ID is inside the project. This is not inside properties or build or any kind of extension or Maven plugins, right? This is the in plugin also you have artifact ID, you'll have group ID. So that is what we saw in the browser, that is the plugins. So we need to find project uh, attributes, right? If you go to project attribute, if I find, hold on, somewhere it will be there. You just can search it, right? You will see max occur once, it will be written there because you cannot have group ID. So that is max occur is one, you know. So where is mean occur is one, that means mandatory one attribute will be there. And max occur is one means mandatory only one and one, no more, not more than one. So if I do Control Z, see group ID, I have mentioned a com.example.maven in line number 7. I'll put this again here in top. What happened? See, it will say duplicate or something. Element name group ID is invalid because it is twice. So it is invalid, right? So you have to remove this. You don't need this two time. It is only one time. So max occur is one. If max occur is no many, so then what will happen? It is kind of an array. You can have multiple group IDs. So that I will talk a little bit about XML and XSD when I'll be talking about XML implementation or something like that in future sessions. You'll be able to find in detail about that. So here, this is how the Maven archetype, right? These are the attributes which you need to have, right? And if you come to slowly down, you will find so many attributes. That time, what happened? I was trying to run this program and show you hello world, whatever it is written, right? We were not able to do it in Maven script, and in Eclipse it was saying class not found. So I have not checked it in Eclipse yet, but in Maven, what happened in actually, what happened actually in build that I have checked. It was a mistake from my side. See here, what we have done. Packaging is Maven archetype, right? So it will do a packaging for Maven archetype. Maven archetype in the sense if you are trying to create any kind of Maven plugin or something, so Maven archetype packaging will happen. Now we are not going to do that. We're going to simply create a jar. So we'll write jar here, right? So we'll write jar and we will run this. See, you can run it from here also, Eclipse. You can go to somewhere there will be Maven, right? Go to Maven. Uh, Yeah, go to run as and then go to Maven build. You can click on Maven build. It will do the build in Eclipse itself. No need to go into your command prompt, but I will show you in both the places. Here goals will be what you want to do actually. Clean. We want to clean the project first, then we need to install, right? So you write clean and then install, and then click on run. See, it just started, right? It just started. Build in Eclipse. No, after a long time, I'm looking into this XML, XSD schemas, at the low level, at low level, because when you grow as an engineering manager, you will you will just look into, you will review it, you will go through that, but you will not, coding is some people do coding. I also done coding during my engineering manager position, during my engineering manager position. It again depends on interest, right? So that's how it is. So this is how we are able to build this jar in Eclipse. If you go to target folder, you go simple sample Maven, go to target folder, you see, you will find, will be able to find jar. Now, as I said earlier, we can see the hello world while doing a build also. See, I will put the same thing here in while running this Maven build. You go again, run as Maven build. See, again you write here clean. You can save this configuration also. Clean, install, then ext java, execute java, right? That is the command which will give us the output. Execute java. I will do it in command prompt. You will be able to see that, and then the fully qualified name of the package and class, right? So here it is dot example dot maven, right? Example dot maven dot app. That is what the package, right? We have here. Okay, let me run it, and then we'll see if we have written something. Yes, example.maven the package. So I started building it again. If you see in app.java, we have that hello world. So if everything goes success, we'll be able to see hello world here. See, we got the output also hello world, right? Execute 3.5.0 Java default CLA simple Maven. So it executed that command which is in the main method and printed hello world. So this is how. See here, that time it was Maven archetype. That's the reason it was creating problem, but now not. So let's go here in command prompt. Also, we can do that same thing, right? So I have cleaned it, and let me continue that same thing. Maven clean install. Example dot Maven dot. This is the full qualified name of the package. See, here we got hello world, right? So the output is coming. I'll just do once more the build, and I will show you what error we got earlier, right? When it was Maven archetype. See, you will be able to see, you will be able to compare my previous video, and here in both of them will find the same error what we got. I'm just trying to build it again. Have I saved that file? If I have not saved, then there will be some issue. Yeah, it's actually building, it's trying to build for the archetype, otherwise it would have taken so much of time. See, we got the same error class not found this because inside that jar class is not there, right? Let's go back to the let's go back and change this guy to jar and build it again, right? Build it again in command prompt, and I will show you the jar how the class structure comes. See, now this is for trying when we're trying to build a jar. Now what I will do, I will show you how to create a web application or a WAR file using the Maven build. So if you go here, I'll just stop and see. This is the structure. This is the structure of a web application at time, right? So our project should have this structure to build a WAR file. Otherwise, it will say at least you should have a web.xml. Otherwise, it will say web.xml is not found, right? So now we'll go and do that. Here, see. It is hello world, which the build is done at say total time is this at the time of 16:07:05. So it is, this is sorry 17:16, right? So that means 17:16. So if you see my time is 17:16, just now the build is done and this print also came out. Now let's go to that target folder. You see target folder in previous video, whatever you have seen, and this current video you see, just check it. Where it is open archive, and then go to the com, example, Maven, update class, right? Earlier it was not there. Earlier we had this archive resources and we have meta-inf. And what is the benefit of this meta-inf? This meta-inf will have one manifesto.mf file, right? In this manifesto.mf file, it stores the versions of the, it only stores the version of the file, version of the your manifesto version, JDK build with that compiler and plugin of this. Along with that, it also hold the class path. Let's say you have some dependency jars and they are in the libraries for library folder, it will hold that class path jar or that details of that dependencies in manifesto file to load during the application getting initialized. So let's go and try to change the archetype to var and try to build a var file, right? So now this is jar, so I'll make it var. I will try to build a var file here. No more we will do it execute Java. We'll just do Maven clean install and see what is the error it is going to come, because in our package structure there we don't have any web.xml or web inf folder, so it is going to create. It should give an exception. So just watch it and see it. See, there is exception saying error assembling war file web XML attribute is required for our pre-existing web inf slash web.xml if executing in update mode is required, right? So now what we should do, there are so many ways to do this thing, but let me show you this under web inf main. Inside main you have web app, web inf, web.xml. So this is at least web.xml is required. So let me go to the eclipse and create that path. In this here, new folder web app, right? Web app folder is required. Inside web app, we will have web inf. What is that web inf? See, capital, right? All are capital. So we will have one web inf folder. wb inf folder inside that. And then inside that, we will have one dot web.xml. New file, web dot. So you got the web.xml file, right? In this XML file, we need to have some content. So I will add what web.xml file actually contains. Let me copy this from this sample web.xml, which I have just opened. Uh, let me copy this. See, web app. There are so many attributes. When I will create one web application, that time I will show you all the attributes. But just see, this is just a default web application. I have added a web app to web.xml and I've created the structure for the structure of web application in that sample Maven. Now, if I go and do the build, what will happen? Just see it. Maven clean install, right? Just see it. So successfully build is success, right? Build is successful web application. WAR is basically web application, right? Web application, web archive. So let's go to that sample Maven and see the target folder. See, it has created a WAR file. Let's see what is there inside the WAR file. Open archive. You see meta-inf, web-inf. Inside web-inf, your classes. Inside that, you'll have all other structures, right? Example, Maven, app, class. But if you come to web inside web inf will have web.xml, meta inf, web inf, and then web.xml, right? So the same content, because it has just copied the work XML file to here, so this here same content will be there for your confirmation. See, this is the same content we have. Right? For the confirmation, I've just shown you. Let me close this. If I, the same POM file you can use to build a ER file. So what you need to do, you just need to change the packaging structure to ER file. It will build the ER file. Now I will go and do a build here. You know what is ER file, right? Enterprise application, right? Enterprise application. The application which will have many REST APIs, many web application. No, it's kind of a complex application. You can say a single ER file can contain multiple WAR files and multiple REST APIs, SOAP-based web services, multiple web application. See, because of this current way of implementation of microservices, all these are now segregated to single WAR file or single jar file or single ER file, which will have only one service, right? So we'll talk about that microservices later, but here, what is how you are going to do these changes to build a WAR, ER, jar. So I'm showing you that. So if you might have seen no, earlier people used to have agents, enterprise agents, so which basically need a year file. So here, see, build success is done for year file, and if you see here sample snapshot, this is you try at your from you try in your home, you will be able to do it. So let's go and see the sample, this target folder, sample Maven target folder. See, who have the ER file here. If I open archive here, if I go to meta-index, the structure of ER file, it is here. Since the code or the modules I don't have according to ER file, so that's why there is no jar inside that, no OR inside that. If you have a proper structure of ER file and you build, it will definitely will hold the content of a ER inside the ER uh, file. Now this is what you have seen how to create a var, ER and jar, right? This is very simple. And I will show you one more example here in which I have created for one REST API, serverless component REST API. See, if you are seeing my screen, you will be able to see there is XML version 1.0 encoding UTF-8, project XML, HTTPS, Maven, Apache, or this is the same, schema definition for that project what you have seen in Eclipse. Here the same thing, model versions, group ID, artifact ID, version, packaging is there. See here, I have added something called dependencies, right? So these dependencies are not available. These are dependencies basically my application need or my program need. My Java class has API dependencies or jar dependencies. Then what I have to do? I have to add that dependencies inside the inside the POM file to download them and execute them, right? So that's how it is added. So see, I will show you by adding one dependency there in that Eclipse form. You see how it works, right? So let me copy this. So this dependency is not there, but let me show you how it works. Currently, we have not coded. We are just working for POM, right? So see, if I add the dependencies, what it does, right? So these dependencies I added. If you see line number, if you see line number 40, what is that? I will just keep little bit space here to make it more clear. You know, dependencies. And this is added, right? If you see, this is how I have here, right? So I have added one dependencies com.aws, com aws hyphen lambda hyphen java core version this. Group ID is top one and artifact ID is this. Artifact ID basically what is the project name and group ID will, they will differentiate different groups of projects or applications inside, different group inside a single project. So it is group ID in this particular group and this particular artifact ID. You download this dependency for this project. That's what I'm trying to tell here. In this, if I go and run this as a Maven build in Eclipse itself, you'll be able to see it will download these dependencies. For me, this dependency is already there in the local repository. I will show you where local repository is there, right? So let me run it first. Huh? See, it is there, so it was not downloaded. if you don't have this dependency, it will download, right? So this dependency will download. And now you have made, we're making it as a year file. Let's see that year file. Okay, that is closed. Oh, how come that folder is closed? Sample Maven, target. See, this is the year file, and here we will have the dependencies. See com.lambda, this jar file came inside this, right? If I would have properly defined, it will go inside the leaf folder, right? So this is how the dependencies will get added to the our build. Now I will show you where does this local repository lies. You go to here with this policy, you go to this, and you go to user folder, right? Inside user folder, you go to the user who was logged in, then you will find .m2 folder. Inside .m2 folder, you will find something called the repository. Inside this repository, you will find all the jars which you have dependencies. They got downloaded and they are here in this particular place. Right? This is how your Maven, this is the local repository in the system. If you are using Linux and other thing, you have to identify accordingly.